Hello and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for yet another episode of the irae, and we're going straight into the episode because last time we ended in the cliffhanger basically because some events happened before the last scene from previous road, which was not road from the previous episode, and that scene was like freaking incredible. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, like what is Mari doing, but Ren is shattering. Like, Ren got hit, but Mari is doing some weird emanation thing probably, and wait, emanation? No, sorry, blah, blah. Hegemony. Yeah, emanation is for 4th degree, right? Yeah. Okay, so not emanation, the hegemony thing they said about hegemony. My mistake. Sorry. And then they started to chant as well. That's when you know it's serious thing. Like, okay, and yeah, like, let's see if Mari will die, Ren will die. Like, what will happen? I have no idea. I'm excited. I hope you do as well. So let's go. A certain event was occurring several minutes before the miracle came alive. Okay, where are we going now? After all, everything was happening at the same time. Okay. It was reasonable to call it a coincidence. No one intended or expected it. However, such a fortitude had always resulted from the accumulation of the inevitabilities. Indeed, nothing was without meaning. Every single action of all the actors taking part in the final battle had summoned the inevitable coincidence. Thus, going back in time was necessary to make the truth more obvious and evident. Okay, let's go back in time. It had to be made clear and certain that the invisible hand of God was not involved in any of this. Okay? So you want to convince me that this is an accident and not some kind of like Mercurius puppeteer shenanigans? Yeah, I know that would happen. The will of humanity was inviolable. He had not interfered. You mean Mercurius? Okay, I doubt it, but if you say so, narrator, then I guess I can trust you. Probably? Okay, Mercurius, I trust you. Craft produced a faint smirk. Mercurius just like broke fourth wall. He just talked to narrator. What the hell? Okay. What is like Mari doing? What is happening? Okay, we're back to Kay. Kay could hear the clank of the blade. Her eyes perceived the bursting sparks. And, though only barely, even her nose was still healthy enough to pick up the reek of the scorched flesh. Right, yeah. Going all out. However... Oh, shoot. Okay. This is kinda badass, but I still liked the other CG better, to be honest. The flaming eye. It's scorched. It's like eye in flames. Okay, this is cool. I like the other one better because of her facial expression was way more aggressive and better. This one is like... I don't know. Previous one was better. You can let me know in the comments if you like this CG better or the previous one that she had. For me, the previous one is better. The sensation on her tongue as she raised the cry to resolve was already gone. Her mouth may have been intact, but she had long since lost the feeling associated with the vocalization. Yeah, she's dead. Pain had almost disappeared as well. Her left arm had been enveloped by flames, her right knee joint reduced to cinders. The fact it had yet to break was a miracle in itself. Caught in the crimson blaze, Kay's hair and face had both lost their original state. Damn, that's a lot of fire. Her battlefield was one of the scorching inferno. Eleanor turned the surroundings into the pyretic hell the very moment the fight began. Even the iron frame of the bridge began to melt. The way it distorted like toffee and slowly collapsed under its own weight was nothing short of mystical. Had Kay been her old self, Eleanor Hellfire would likely consume her without mercy. The flames of the Crimson Nightness far surpassed the girls both in terms of quality and intensity. Eleanor once said that all fires would be consumed by any greater blaze, and she wasn't wrong in the least. The inferno under Rubedo's command was the dimension above the flame wielded by Kay. Challenging her back then would be akin to rising the lighter for a nuclear blast. Wow, that's a big difference. Yeah. Yes, she went for the optimal choice. If the girl was to stand against the woman, she would have to rise her endurance, to become an Aitherer capable of continuing the fight even with scorched limbs and the body gone numb. Otherwise, she would have been defeated in a single strike. The battlefield was much like Muspelheim, a realm of hellfire evaporating all in its path. Despite that, the Crimson Rubedo had yet to break a sweat, proudly implying that the battlefield was only now the beginning. She even went so far as to label the situation chilly. Great! I mean, if you think about this, if she can like survive, like she commands that hellfire and stuff, right? What scorched her? That must be... If this is cold, what kind of heat made this? This is what I'm like really curious about. Will she be like, you know what, it's cold, like, this is what I call heat, and then like show her the scar or something, and then we go to the backstory. To her, it was dull beyond description. Eleanor's eyes' cold glare stood in sharp contrast with the raging heat she had summoned. The woman hadn't gone on the offensive ever since launching the first shot. She deflected Kay's blade with her bare hands without looking the least bit cornered. The flames flowing all around Rubedo were but a side effect of her moving her limbs. Okay. An unconscious act, no different from sending dust in the air, whirling about as one exhaled. For Kay to be burned by an act so trivial meant she was less than an insect compared to Eleanor. Oh, we got the Panzerfaust that the guy from the prologue had. What was his name again? Does any one of you remember the name of the guy with the Panzerfaust in the beginning of the game? Like very first episode, this guy being a hero. He like tried to shoot like Schreiber, if I remember correctly. A spear-like firearm abruptly materialized behind Eleanor. It steep shot towards Kay, digging into her solar plexus before exploding. The rocket, fired from point-blank range, blew Kay away, making her release a spray of blood. The sheer impact from the attack forcefully destroyed a number of her internal organs. Ooh! Okay, like, my only idea of, like, what is Mari doing is, like... To put it simple, she will, like, heal everyone. Basically. This is the only thing I can think of, because clearly, like, Shiro and Ellie got, like, torn in half, probably, or something, because of how insane speed further degree of Schreiber has, and here we just clearly see that, like, Kay is like going into pieces. So I just imagine that like Mari like doing hegemony weird thing further degree, her further degree probably, because her second degree is, because if you think about this, Mari is like materialized weapon, so basically her like body is her formation, I think. right? Because her true form is the scythe, right? So her formation is the human body, and her third degree is probably going to be like whatever is she doing now. So, yeah. Probably she will heal everyone. That's the only like situation I can think of. She crawled on all fours, making her fingers sink into the tar of the melting asphalt. The bloody vomit she spewed evaporated before even touching the road. The inferno surrounding the girl made her body fluids boil with an audible hiss. The Panzerfaust was never designed to be used as the penetrative weapon, but in Rubedo's hands, its original purpose didn't matter one bit. Whatever the case, it was nothing for Kate to worry about. Being able to ignore all pain and injury, she could continue fighting as long as her opponent didn't evaporate her in one hit. Yeah, she's getting insane. She's getting being another kind. As she went into the offensive, in seemingly suicidal charge, she would never give up. Eleanor looked down on Kay in disinterested manner before effortlessly evading the girl's downward slash, then launching a kick of her own as a counterattack. Kay was sent flying backwards once more, but not without a little gift from Rubedo to go along with it. Okay? Grenade? No? Okay. The woman nonchalantly snapped her fingers, similar like a meteor explosion, kinda like a grenade, okay. Got up in the blast. Kay was making somersaults as she fell into the burning sea of tar. And right before she sank... Okay. Over 20 Schmeissers opened fire on her. The barrage made a wavy tar splash, creating countless fiery droplets that contributed to the scorching hell around them. Eleanor's ability warranted no surprise in particular. Though people were limited to only one Ahnerbear, certain others, like Rusauka, carried a set of objects belonging to a single concept. Yeah. While with the Witch Ahnerbear, now in Shiro's hands, was an assembly of the torture devices, Eleanor carried a collection of firearms. Her arsenal rivaled the firepower of the entire army. Yep, pretty much. She had it all. Landmines, assault rifles, hand grenades, anti-tank and even anti-air guns. In terms of size, the Ahnerbear acting as her core couldn't be matched by anyone at the obsidian table. Her weapon was a marvel of the tactical arms that easily surpassed the concept of items carried on one person. It was an absolutely large piece of artillery that moved with the army itself and required several thousand personnel to operate at full capacity. As such, being able to summon a multitude of firearms would only be natural. Right, we never saw like her physical Ahnerbear, right? To be honest. A relic, basically. This were no mere battle, but an all-out war. The valor of the single person meant nothing before tens of thousands of guns, all locked, loaded and ready to fire. Basically, Eleanor had no intention of pretending to duel someone as slowly as Kay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, my god, how do you... I thought like Sakurai may have chance somehow if she became kind, but yeah, this is too much. This is just too much. So in order if Mari thing is like some kind of big plot twist that will happen, that she will not only have to heal everyone basically who's fighting, she will have to power up them to be higher than Einherjar's. Somehow. There must be some power up in this. Otherwise, you would just heal Sakurai and she would just get burnt again. Nothing would change otherwise. Okay, this one is more badass. The facial expression changed. This is more confident. The previous one was like, yeah, I'm not really sure, and this one is more confident. She's scorched and everything, but she's more confident with the eye and like lips like this. This one is better. Okay. Kay somehow got out of the burning sea of tar and rose to her feet. No expression could begin to describe the state of her body. She had already been robbed about 70% of her soul. Oh, crap! Her sense of touch and smell were almost completely gone, and even her sight began to grow hazy. She wasn't certain about her hearing either. But this was... Okay. How? The girl's nonsensical utterance made Eleanor knit her brows. Had the Kur lost her mind? She planned to suffer injuries that severe. Even jest and stupidity had their limits. Yeah? Kay knew that she was living on borrowed time. She intended to kill Eleanor before the false lens devoured her consciousness. But alas, all her attempts were in vain. Kay was unable to even deliver a single hit, let alone defeat the Crimson Knightess. In the meantime, her soul continued to be devoured at a steady pace, inevitably marching towards oblivion. Logically speaking, Kay could afford neither the time nor the patience to hold a conversation with her opponent. The rational choice was to greatly use every single moment to focus on a headlong onslaught, as she had been doing until now. However, she simply stood still, silent as the night. Her whole body was covered in burns, with most of her soul plunged. To say she looked half dead would be more generous. Okay. How do we get out of this? Mari, do your thing. Whatever that thing is going to be. As she would perish, regardless of what everyone did, Kay had no palpable reason to be wasting her time. Kay questioned made Eleanor fall silent and looked at her with doubtful eyes. The woman had passionate character. She also had a sophisticated eye for tactics. Her mind wouldn't allow her to fall for half-baked plots. Rupert observed, conjectured, analyzed, and ascertained, leading her to conclude that the girl before her was a complete idiot who merely wanted to speak her last words in complaint, okay? With that in mind, she decided to play along with her final hole. Okay, let's see. Eleanor silently chuckled.
貴様は私の美意識に抵触するよ。率直に言ってヘドが出る。なぜです。なぜだと。愚問だよ。
I don't know battle, okay. Eleanor's words weren't meant to be taken as the metaphor. She couldn't stomach a single bit of Kay's struggle in background.
数百かそこら血を浴びたからなんだ。友や家族を失ったからどうしたという。そんなものは貧困の国にでも行けば日常の光景だろう。土人や機民の所業であり、泣き言に過ぎん。
Okay.
戦場は兵士の本分をわきまえた者にしか理解できない。焼け出され、人生を喪失した女子供は哀れだが、そうした者らが分け知り顔で語ることを私は許さん。クリストフもブレンナーも、そして貴様も。若き貴様らの抜かすことはいつもこれだ。愛を取り戻したい。罪を償う。ほざけよ。水管まがいのたわけどもが。だから戦場を知らぬと言っているのだ。兵士は死者の蘇生など求めはせん。いかにして己は死なず、いかにして他者を殺し続けるか。我々はそれだ。戦場とはその原理だ。
Yeah, that's what we expected from Samuel.
兵士でないゆえに戦場を理解わかるか。だから払うのだよ。
In her eyes, they were but crowds, participating in their exalted crusade by accident, tainting it with their foolish conduct. those they deserve to be wiped out, to be embraced by flames, but then their senses intoxicated by the tragedy they so cherished.
泣くのが好きなのだ。
The girl probably thrived on indulging self-consolation, derived from her own sins and powerlessness.
ヘドが出る。
The very thought of such filth acting like soldiers disgusted her to no end.
だからバビロンを、
そうだ。
ゲイカを、
無論。
そして私を。
ああ。よくわかっているじゃない。
Eleanor features seems almost gentle as she sounded a faint chuckle. She doubly believed that at the end she granted the girl and her kind was blessing, a perfect fit for them. Yep, this is exactly how Samuel works, basically, her character. We saw this even like in the previous road when we had her fight with Beatrice. She didn't like talk to her like that, because Beatrice knows battle, but we got this glimpse of her as well back then. But here she's like more obvious about this. She doubtlessly believed that the end she granted the girl and her kind was a blessing. A perfect, yeah. They longed to play the leading roles of tragedies, and she was simply kind enough to grant their wish. Needless to say, the stories would all end with death.
これは衛生上の問題だ。貴様らは臭い。生かしてはおけない。
Rupert spoke in tone cold as ice, fit for someone about to exterminate the pest.
剣など抜く価値もない。一掃するだけだ。貴様らなどはな。
Yeah. She held Kay in contempt and saw her as the filth, base and trifling beyond any measure. In her mind, the girl didn't deserve to see her true power.
なるほど。よくわかりました。
However, even in the face of such vicious abuse, Kay did nothing but silently nod, almost as she hadn't heard the words. The girl too was a passionate personality. Definitely not the type to keep her temper after having her whole life denied right in front of her. Despite her appearance, Kay's entire being should have been seething with indignation.
私は戦場を知らないと。確かにその通りなんでしょうね。
And yet, the stillness in her voice, not forced in the last, inside or outside, she was perfectly calm on both fronts.
ですがザミエル卿、私は別に戦士気取りなんかしていませんよ。
One second, give me a second. I need to like change something. My microphone. 1 second, just 1 second. I should set my limiter into -10. Okay, now it should be better. Okay, anyway, let's go. Not sure if you hear any difference, but at least it won't go like off scale right now with my voice. It's probably a little bit less loud for you, but yeah, anyway. The girl was only desperate and acted with no heed to good or evil.
むしろあなたたちが迷惑です。たかが殺し合いに栄光だの、誇りだの、つまらない美辞麗句を装飾して。
She has a point.
悲しいんですよ。奪われると苦しいんですよ。奪うのも。私もそれをばらまいてきたバカです。ええ。あなたの美意識に抵触して結構。
Nice.
嬉しいですね。一緒にされたくありません。あなた方のような人種が。
Damn.
人類の癌だ。
To people like Eleanor, hellish battlefields were but stages for them to shine on. And anyone who didn't flourish by design had no value as the human beings. Truly a troublesome kind. Nothing good could come from such a mentality.
効率的な殺人以外あなたは何の役にも立たないのでしょう。
Yeah, good point.
パンを焼くこともできない。
Nor did the woman know how to laugh.
無能は誰ですか、ザミエル卿。世界に居場所がなくなったのはあなた方がくだらない戦争屋だからですよ。限られたサブカルチャーしか知らなくて、その話ばかりをするから敬遠される空気読めない人
Samuel,
たち
I
が
mean,
変わりません。
Sakurai being badass here.
自分の世界はすごい。
Real talk.
盲信して叫び続けなければ呼吸すらできない。
Yeah, and Samuel would be probably like, yeah, you know nothing, just die.
すべてをその色に染めないと誰からも有用とされない自分が歪小すぎるから。私が悲劇に酔っているならあなたは血と戦火に酔っている。まあ両方バカでしょうが、見苦しくて迷惑なのは。
And if sanitary reasons matters to her, which of them was the real trash?
こちらこそヘドが出る。
The very thought of such filth acting like people disgusted her to no end. Kay retort made Eleanor laugh. She was reasonably impressed by what the girl had said.
面白いな。ブレンナーあたりが言いそうだ。いや結構少し懐かしい気持ちに浸れたよ。雑魚の論理はいつ聞いても天下が軸に座っている。要するにこういうことだろう。私に優しくしてくれない者が悪い。
Okay.
甘ったれて恥を知らず感情のままにわめき散らす女子供の上等だ。してみればこの国の者らは本質を捉える目があるな。知っているだろう。天下という言葉は転んだ嫁と書くらしい。
On the other hand, Eleanor, you know, anyone who's not kind to me is bad. You say this is the principle for the people just like Sakurai. But on the other hand, for you, it's like anyone who like wasn't at war, wasn't on the battlefield is bad. So it's exactly the same thing. You are like basically the same, but on like another scale. So yeah, kinda hypocritic, right?
それはあれか。女が災難に遭えばそういう行為に走ると言っているのか。考えたやつはどうしてシャレのわかるやつのようだな。
あなたも女のようですけど。
一緒にするなよ。
The one grinned while denying you were being the same kind of creature as the girl.
さて、ともかく望み通りに話に付き合ってやったわけだ。そろそろ教えてくれぬかな。時間など稼いだところでどうにもならぬのは知っているだろう。
If anything, the passing of time only worked against her. During their conversation, everything below Kay's neck had turned cadaverous.
私は貴様の諦めの悪さだけを評価しているつもりだよ。第7でそう言っただろう。
ええ、学校で。
How Kay could forget? It was where she desperately charged Eleanor and was defeated in but a moment. Yeah, but she still surprised her for a second there. But that was exactly why.
少し確認がしたかったのです。それはもう済みました。
Okay.
あなたの気象を正確に把握することと。
なんだ。
いえ、とにかく次が最後です。
What she's gonna to do? Kay fixed her posture and bent her body in a way that would allow her to charge towards Eleanor in a single bound, prompting the woman to ready herself. She still didn't know what the girl was planning, but none of it actually mattered. Rupert would easily blast her away with a following strike.
そういえば先ほど天下がどうだと言っていました。
Okay. While standing on the scorching bridge, Kay made Rui smile as she prepared to kick the sea of burning coal tar and dash towards her battle.
あなただってハイドリヒ教の価値観に気持ちを転化しているんじゃないですか。
So, is her aim to just like distract Eleanor basically, to make her unstable just for a split second so she can like attack her with a surprise, right? A thunderous cannon flash acted like the signal for Kay to begin her fervent dash.
惚れた男の言うことは何でも正しく間違いないってずいぶん安っぽい女ですね。
Damn. Since the beast was essentially an amalgam of hell and war, Eleanor began to glorify those things.
くどんなのはどっちだ。
Eleanor's actions rivaled the foolishness of the women who took up smoking simply because their lover did.
人のことを小娘小娘って。
Clearly, the woman was the true Kalu brat.
その年で心まで処女だなんて終わってるのよ。
Wow. The scorching artillery fire approached with no hint of stopping. Even in Kay current state, taking it on could easily wipe her from the existence. Thus, with her speed having reached new heights, she continued dodging it. Okay, Beatrice moves. Infused with electricity, the false lines began to flicker. Just like Tubalcain, Kay began displaying lightning fast movements. It wasn't accidental. By letting the lance consume more than 90% of her body, the girl became capable of calling forth Kain's abilities. Okay. That was the first part of her plan. Oh, so she solved time to actually get consumed. Damn, the dedication. This is risky, but also probably the only way, right? Kay dodged the demonic cannons and rode the speed to get Eleanor's side. It was no doubt the final burst before her demise. However, it was far from enough. If one could turn the tides of battle with suicidal resolve alone, the concept of defeat would cease to exist. That was where the second part of her plan came in. The girl was being greeted by the menacing curtain of machine guns. Eleanor said that she wouldn't draw her sword on any lowly filth, and instead choosing to push them like pests. By using a limited amount of her power, Kay used to better own this position to seal her blade and prevent the woman from using her ultimate ability. The girl used the conversation to provoke her. Now that Eleanor had actually said she wouldn't go all out, her pride would make sure she wouldn't. Even if her life was in danger, Kay confirmed her to be the type of the person. This is actually pretty freaking smart. Yeah, so she counts on Samuel feel of pride, basically. And that was where the third part, the deciding move, came in. It was the combination of the first and second parts, and it couldn't be done without either of them succeeding. She evaded the first attack, and got next to Eleanor with swiftness that numbed the woman's reaction speed. Next, Kay prevented Rubedo from using any skills she couldn't deal with. With those two conditions fulfilled, she could land at least one attack on her. The only problem was if it would actually be fatal. Yeah. The Schmeisser's bullet barrage whittled her whole body. An attempt on dodging would reduce her propulsive power, so she had no choice but to break through while ignoring any hits. God damn it! Bullets were piercing her shoulder, boring into her stomach, blowing away her chest, and breaking away her cheeks. Despite it all, she relentlessly continued her onwards march without any hint of stopping. Kay figured she must have looked worse than a shambling corpse from some horror film. Kay hoped it wasn't too uncommonly. At the end of the day, she was still a woman, having a visage that made her dread looking in the mirror would have been shameful. And after being told that her face was certain Simon's type, Kay even began to consider cosmetics. She would probably go for red lipstick. The color pink appealed to her as well, but she felt something overly cutesy wouldn't suit her. The girl made a bitter smile, despite knowing she had already given up.
何を期待してるの。本当バカだよ。
Don't worry, Mari is doing like some weird shenanigans and he will survive because of that. She had already resolved to never return. What happened to the determination? Maybe she got shot in the head and lost part of her brain?
私
She still thought of going to the party at the rooftop. Kay finally broke through the gun barrage and reached Eleanor. She was right before her, with nothing between them. She focused on a single point and began acting out the third part of her plan. Eleanor herself once told her to suppress her bloodlust, and that the weaker force would be foolish to assume a crane wing formation. The girl would heed that very advice in order to claim her opponent's life. She was now a spearhead formation, breaking into Rubedo's crane wing. For the sake of the purging worthless filth, the woman took up that formation at the cost of her own density. Thus Kay could reach the core of the soul that commanded the army. Eleanor gazed in shock as the weapons book Longinus, charged with electricity, dug into her face. Wow, shit, with a violent burst of lightning. She just got headshotted with that sword. Unable to kill the moment of her dash, Kay fell to the ground. The single blow drained her all of energy. She couldn't even muster the strength to stand up. Was it effective though? Did she succeed? Oh, now I think about this, like, if Longinus is sucking up the soul of Sakurai, even if Mari shenanigans will heal her, I'm still thinking it's like some kind of like healing ability or something, then she won't be able to like bring back her soul from the Longinus, right? So her body will be fine, but she will still become kind. So maybe it's something else than healing then? Because we need to somehow make her survive, right? Huh. Was Kay best enough to defeat her opponent? What was the result? She's still alive? Eleanor covered her face as the shoulders trembled in anguish. The blood flowing from her fingers stood as clear proof of her injury. However... Oh! Damn! We got pissed off Eleanor. This never happened before. This never happened before. The scorching pillar of fire that burst to life of Rubedo angered Hall was an unmistakable display of her prowess, still very much intact. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! The music starts. The effect. Kay had put her life on the line to unleash an attack that ultimately did nothing more than anger the Crimson Rubedo. Since the right side of her face was still covered by her hand, the gravity of injury remained uncertain, yet it clearly wasn't fatal. She probably lost her eye. At least. Therefore, her fate had been sealed. Kay could no longer ever dreamed of turning the tides. It was impossible. She knew that better than anyone. Her plan succeeded and her blade reached its target, yet...
甘く見るなよ。この程度しのげんで何がハイドリ秘境のエイフェリアだ。何が不死の英雄だ。貴様ごときの命などで私は取れん。のぼせ上がるな。
The tip of the false arms began to crack and break off, which meant that the Eleanor took the blow with nothing but the raw endurance. Holy crap! Wait, Eleanor, like, eyeball and head basically cracked the lance? Are you serious? How tough is she? Even though the girl had aimed at the spot low in density, Eleanor came out without a fatal injury and even broke the lance just by bearing an attack. What the hell? Her awe-inspiring underriff made her truly worthy of being among Valhalla Inherars. He couldn't think of anything she could do to fight the Crimson Nightness. The woman's prowess was simply far too overwhelming.
消し飛ばしてやる
Her voice was burning with rage as the space behind her began to boil, swaying like a heat haze. It gradually gave form the greatest artillery in history. Okay, we are going with this. She wasn't evoking her creation figment, but unsheathing and showing her sword to a lowly and thrilling whelp and humiliation, far worse than death. Yeah, so she's just like going to like blow up the whole area with just a gun, like the biggest gun. The girl had to be thoroughly evaporated with no trace left behind. Also, yeah, if like Mari Pink is healing as I expect it to be, because I for now don't have any other like better thoughts. How do you heal if someone is just evaporated? Yeah, I don't know. Concealed filth made meant to become just another part of the numerous rift-off arrays by her weapon. Honor only showed her worth to those she deemed heroic. She knew that the only things of true value were the stars nobly shining high above in the skies. The foolish Kur standing before Rubedo lacked the radiance needed to scorch her.
They are righteous. Samuel.
Okay, because the artillery queen of the hunt. Okay. So this artillery queen of the hunt was called Samuel? Is it like real life thing? Actually? Can you let me know in the comments? Like, was there like a canon in the history that was called Samuel? Is that really a thing? Okay, there's a bottle. Okay, the whole thing is here. Holy crap, this is the first time. Wait, did she never actually use formation before? We never saw this, CG. She just brought the whole artillery. It was always like covered with that circle of magic, right? Immaterialized in its enormity, trampling over space itself as it awaited K into silence. Size beyond description. That's what she said. Absurdity that spoke for itself. The very existence of such an object made Kay lose her grip on sanity. She knew what it was, what her brain refused to understand. A shot from that monstrous cannon would not only kill Kay, but severely damage Yusa and Fuji as well. Oh, right, because the range of this is just like, yeah, huge.
あがけ、ハイマーレ泣き叫べ集体をさらせ。ザコの使徒はそうしたものだと満天下に知らしめるがいい。どだい何をしようが逃げられん。私の方は絶対に外れんのだ。
The railway gun, Dora, lowered in rotation its 80-centimeter barrel toward K, who was lying on the ground. The abrupt materialization of the overwhelming mass made the burning melting bridge sway with a great intensity. It seems like it could collapse at any moment. Eleanor, however, paid no mind to it, instead allowing her fury-free regime resigning to annihilate all around her.
10 9 8 7
Well, countdown began. The gun's sense of hearing, ruined and dominated by the jarring noise, was still able to pick up the mortal countdown. When it reaches 0, the whole area would be drawn in the fierce flames of perdition, and all would be mercilessly consumed. Kay didn't even realize how teary her voice had become. She was fine with dying. But for her life, the girl brought death upon countless people. She wasn't hoping for the convenient ending, and was perfectly capable of accepting death as punishment for all she had done. However, I couldn't stop thinking about the others. She hated the three. Everything about them rubbed her in the wrong way. They were nothing but a bunch of annoying idiots. But that was exactly why they worried her to no end. Yeah, she finally found some actual allies and friends for the first time in her like whole life, basically. Come on, Kay. The power of the protagonist. Come on, destroy the gun. Somehow, do something. Like throw the lance at this. I mean, if you damage this thing, then you damage Samuel, because this is her like formation of her actual weapon, right? If you destroy this gun, then you destroy Samuel, basically. That's the same thing. Actually, maybe not, because she can like Samuel is special case like Rusauka, but she have like multiple things, but this is the biggest thing. So if you destroy this, then she will be at least severely injured. If you think about this, because she still have like Schmeissers and like Panzerfaust and stuff, so you have to like destroy all of them. But if you destroy this is like the main thing, so that will make her like severely injured. Right? Am I correct? Can you let me know in the comments? Or I'm understanding her like power wrongly. I think I'm correct on this one. She didn't know who was she pleading, nor what she was clinging to. Even so, the girl wheeled her now cadaverous body into movement. She still stand up, eh? Oh, you can see the crack! Actually, you can see the cracks! Even so, the girl wielded her now cadaverous body into movement. In her hands she wielded the velvet's longiness, the false lens on the verge of shattering. It was the final move in her vain struggle. She knew to be useless. No miracle would grace her through tears and prayers alone. However, Kay couldn't just give up. She wanted to believe she was herself until the very final breath. The girl brandished the blade, readying herself to throw it. I was kinda joking when I said throw the lance, but okay, I guess you can do this. I mean, she have good throwing skills, if you think about this. She did throw her sword once at Rusauka from like down, like from the school to like the rooftop. Well, you could say she's expert at this. Kay couldn't infuse it with power, nor did she believe that a perfect throw could pierce through Robedo. There was no way a lance that battered could penetrate her armor. She believed. Yeah. Come on, your souls are in the sword. You can like do something, right? Kay launched the heirloom. The moment right before the Queen of the Hand opened fire. Oh. At the same meantime, Schreiber using his third degree. Oh, and okay, so everything happened during the Samuel. Okay. So it happened at the time when. Okay. So none of them is dead yet when this thing happened. Gibbs and Table were about to grasp a flawless victory. With the end of their opponents, the battlefield would sing the glory of the champions. Everything was happening at the same time, without even a momentary difference. It was reasonable to call it a coincidence. No one intended or expected it. However, such fortitude had always resulted from the accumulation of the inevitabilities. Nothing was without meaning. Every single action of all actors taking part in the final battle had summoned the inevitable coincidence. Thus, yep, and we get a chant. Also, yeah, he always had the cloak. I realized, yeah, he always had the cloak, but his hand was like outside because he was like holding the lance before, and now his hand is probably like in the cloak or something. For some reason.
汝の傷を塞いだ槍から聖なる血が流れ出す。
私がみんなを抱きしめ
I will embrace everyone, okay? Your hegemony stuff, okay, let's go. What is going to be